Hello, Jared the Wyrd-Worker here. In this video, I'm going to talk about the limitations of magic. This video was inspired by a conversation I had with a beginner witch on Twitter who had contacted me privately to ask me how long it takes to see results after a spell is cast. The short answer to that specific question is that it can vary greatly based on a number of factors. When I was just starting out, I did a spell to help a friend buy a new home. She signed a contract with a seller 2 days later. Or was it 3? That was a decade ago, so my memory is a little hazy. At any rate, the results came on quickly. In other cases, I've done spells that just have never panned out. I'd like to explore some of the reasons for that huge variation in magical effectiveness. But first, I want to start out by offering a criticism and something of a warning about the modern manifestation movement. It might get a bit ranty, so please bear with me. From what I've seen, this is a movement that often encourages unrealistic expectations when it comes to manifesting or working magic. To be honest, I and others have compared it to the name it and claim it mentality of the Christian prosperity gospel. People seem to come away thinking that they can get whatever they want if they just visualize it hard enough, and that's not how it works. There are limitations to what you can accomplish with magic. Sometimes other factors in the world are just against you to the point that no amount of visualization, no well-crafted chant, and no number of candles are going to change that. That's why I've had spells that don't work. So let's look at some of the constraints and other factors that go into magical effectiveness. The first thing that is a huge factor is how likely a given outcome is to begin with and how difficult it is to bring about. Now, I'm going to give a somewhat silly example for this video that I hope we can all have a little fun with. I like Ryan Reynolds a lot. I would kind of love it if I met him someday. So let's pretend that I want to meet him badly enough that I decide to do a spell to meet him. Let's explore how likely that is to actually happen. Now, in preparing for this video, I looked up where he lives on Wikipedia. Turns out, he and his family actually live in the same state as me, though over 250 miles away. So at least I don't necessarily have to fly out to Hollywood in order for this to happen. But I also don't get to that part of New York he lives in often either. And I doubt he comes to Rochester very often, if at all. So now the universe would have to arrange for us to each have our own reason to be in the same geographical location at the same time, let alone the same train, movie theater, or 7-Eleven, or whatever other specific building or location we meet in. I'm sure Ryan Reynolds is a busy person who travels a lot, so this is a very unlikely thing unless I intervene in some way. This is why you usually can't just do a spell and wait for results without taking any further action. I'd have a lot better luck if I actually made an effort to be someplace I know he's going to be. For example, maybe I can find out if there's a comic book convention or other convention he's going to be at. Maybe even one where he's going to be part of a panel discussion. If I went and attended that panel discussion, my chances of saying a quick hello afterward or running into him on the convention floor are probably fairly high. At this point, a clever person might suggest that a better spell in the first place would have been one to help me make it to that convention. I'd say they'd be right. In fact, this ties back into a video I did earlier on getting creative with our magical intentions. You might want to check that video out. Another thing that affects the effectiveness and timing of magic is that other people are also making changes to reality. To continue with my example, Ryan Reynolds is a busy man and probably has no idea who I am. I mean, he has no reason to, unless he somehow finds this video. And if that's the case, hi Mr. Reynolds! I hope you're enjoying the video, and I hope you're taking my invocation of you in it all in good fun like it's intended. Please don't put my name on a gold card. Anyway, back to the discussion. His own actions might make it difficult or even impossible for me to meet him, especially if I don't do something constructive like going to that convention. Other people's desire to meet him might interfere as well. I imagine a lot of people want to meet the guy, so maybe I'll sit through that panel discussion and the second it's over, Other attendees will mob him before I can even get close to him, because I ended up having to sit way in the back. Maybe they'll keep him busy until he has to move on and I miss that opportunity altogether. I may have to look for a different opportunity, maybe even at a different venue on a different day. Also, maybe Ryan Reynolds is completely opposed to meeting me for some reason. Maybe I'm trying to meet him for the second time, but I turned our first meeting into a terrible and even traumatic experience for him. Maybe I kept pestering him to reenact the entire Green Lantern movie with me. In that case, he might see me heading toward him after that discussion panel and look for a way to get out of there. Maximum effort! And then no amount of magic on my part is going to stop that. Maybe he even cast a warding spell to prevent me from getting anywhere near him, or paid someone else to do it for him. So now I'm trying to work magic to accomplish something that someone else has worked magic to actively prevent. What's the universe supposed to do with that? At this point, I hope you've gotten a glimpse into why magic is more complex than just doing everything right and waiting for guaranteed results. Until next time, blessed be.